Because you don't have the right answer. God is the only one who has the right answer. And he's giving you instructions. No more answers until you follow the instructions that I've given you. Don't keep asking questions because you're genius and you think if you ask enough questions, you can figure out the answer. You know how we do. We listen to the words they say. Oh, do you plan to run next year? Well, planning to run, I haven't decided. Oh, there is a possibility that you're planning to run, huh? Because I'm reading the language and it says, you didn't say you weren't. You let me know through your words that it's possible. That's how we try to do. They just talk to them long enough. They can reveal what the secret is, but they hide. But they don't know I'm smart. You're talking, listen, and put your thoughts together because your thoughts are what you won't speak. Because you're just being who you are. So how do you respond to these types of situations? In these situations, you do not have the answer. God is the only one that has the answer, the solution to the situation. That is why there's a way that seems right to man, but it ends in the way of death. Proverbs 14:12. See, you take all your data and you put it together, and you strategize, and you plan, and you do all the what ifs, only to find out that was a what if you had never considered. My daughter-in-law and my son were telling me that they are planning to, they're doing some work on their house. And they love to plan. So they planned in January, they got all their ducks in a row. And they did all the strategizing and all the figuring and what if they had contingency plan if things don't go the way you want. But the lumber in January was $400, $500, $4,000. And in March, it was like $8,000 or something like that. Who plans for that kind of craziness? How does lumber go up that quick, that fast? Because you don't know everything you need to know. There's variables that you need to be aware of. So, of course, you know that what that did to the budget, right? God said, look, I want you to know how smart you are. You got to know some other things. You got to know all things if you want to strategize like that. It ain't one place to know all things. That's the way on me. And to talk to me. Because we put a plan together, but God is ordering your steps. Because he wants to see what you do when things don't go the way you believe they will go. The way you believe they should go. God said, there's some more stuff I need to teach you. Because until you learn that it's all in me, and you're going to have days like this. You don't mean no harm. You're just trying to be a good steward. But God said, listen, listen, listen. It's about following the circle. Can you hear me? What are you trusting in? Those numbers are only good for the day. That was proof. If you can't close the deal today, don't say you know it's going to cost tomorrow. Those things are changing. If you don't know how to get out your situation today, don't think it's going to change anything tomorrow because you have to wait on God. And get away from trying to get out and fix, get to the point where, you know what? Obviously, I'm focused in the wrong place. I'm focusing on this thing I want to do, and God said, I'm focusing on you to do what I want you to do. Whose agenda are you following? Because there's a way that seems right to man, but the end leads to death. Were you called as a slave? Don't let it concern you. If you were called as a slave, don't let it concern you. But if you are also able to become free, take advantage of that. If you are able, if an opportunity arises to be free, that's when you think about being free. Yeah. You got it, right?
That's it.
If the opportunity had come, that ain't time. Just do other stuff, and you be concerned about that when the opportunity comes. But make sure you're in a position to close the deal.
Yes, that's it.
I've met plenty of opportunities in my day that was like, it was just like a poor man should have been able to get it. But I couldn't close the deal. I'm out here running around seeing all these opportunities. How you buy land on the lake for $1,200? I I don't care what he can't do. For $1,200, it'll be worth something sometime, somewhere.
Yep.
That was back in the early 80s. Could you imagine what that worth would be now?
Mm-hmm.
Lord have mercy. I just want to put a dumpster on it or something. I don't know, but your numbers are right, yes. You must be in a position to close the deal. And you can only close the deal if you're working with the deal closers. It ain't one. A lot of people say they'll close, they'll deal maker, a deal closer. But it ain't one that has guaranteed 100% success. He hasn't failed on a deal yet. Not one. Now who you gonna listen to? Are you an expert in deal making and closing? No. Do you have a good track record on deal making and deal closing? No. What makes you think you can tell somebody what they need to do and becoming someone that can close deals and make deals? Somehow people that are not experts in numbers seem to get all of our attention and convince us that this is the way to go. But you got a God that don't even want nothing from you. Don't benefit him in no way. Everything just benefits you. He said, I have the answer for you. Look, it ain't gonna cost you nothing. Just change, just grow. You know, be willing to move. But you just can't make that human nature do it, can you? That's why you gotta stay in it. Because you stay in it long enough, you'll die.
Yes, sir.
And he'll leave you alone.
Yeah. Amen.
But are you willing to take the chance because the stakes are high? If it costs you everything, you get back 5, 10, 20, 100, 700 times. Oh, I mean, come on. How can you lose on a deal like that? But the mind said, look, it sounds too good to be true. Well, that you have, how good does that sound? Does it sound good enough to want to stay there forever? And unfortunately, it will say in its wickedness, if it means gambling what I got, yeah, I'll stay here to be safe. You can't run with God and think safe. You can't run with God and think safe. You got to think, risk it all. Because whatever I risk, I get back more than I lost. So if you were called a slave, don't try to get free. You called in a jacked up situation, don't try to get out of it. See what God's trying to make of that rough piece of metal, that rough piece of metal. You're trying to make something. You just hold on the process. Go on and let it go. And let God take care of it. You see, for I know the plans I have for you, God says, plans for prosperity, not for disaster, to give you a future and a hope. Then you will call upon me and come and pray to me, and I will listen to you. Hear what he said? I know the plan I got for you.
Yeah.
If you just believe that, it's a plan for prosperity, for good life. If you operate in the soul of God, he said, look, all you got to do is come. Pray to me. Search for me. Guarantee you'll find me. Guarantee you'll find me. You see, you were bought with a price. Do not become slaves to people, brothers and sisters. Each one of you is to remain in the condition in which you were brought to God. If you were born a slave, fine, but don't go try to make yourself a slave. Don't continue to stay a slave of the devil if you've been set free. Don't make yourself a slave to him. You've been set free. Don't be free. And I know you heard this word process, it takes time, but let's get another spin on that. You locked up in prison. You spirit locked up in prison here. You can get out anytime you want. Now, some people, how many of y'all like being in prison? I mean, you've seen prison life. How many think you would like to be in prison? So the Lord has come and said, okay, Curtis, spirit man, you free? Come out anytime you want. But then there's this conversation where it's going to take time. It's going to be a process. I probably come out in a little while. I got to wrap my mind around it. Let that sink. Because Jesus said, Paul said through God in the end of chapter 7 of Romans, who will set me free from this body of slavery? Thanks be to God through my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Prison has such an impact on me, I don't even want to go. I'll do whatever it takes not to go. So you're telling me you're in prison. You can't be yourself. You can't enjoy the life you want to enjoy. Sometimes you get stuck in the hole for a month. Can't see no sunshine, a 6x6. Bathroom, lunchroom, everything in the same little 6x6. You're telling me you won't come out of there to be a process. See, I know because I ain't never been there and don't want to go there. I would want to get out as soon as possible. I will be calling on people to do the impossible. Hey, look, can y'all get me out of here? I got no, you got the land or anything you put up? I ain't got no land. Look, can you board from somebody? Look, I need to get out of here today. Somebody help me. Holy Spirit, like, Kurt, you want to come out today? Nah, I mean, not today. It's kind of, I ain't wrapped my mind around it yet. I'm trying to work my way into this freedom. It ain't been so long since I've been out there. I don't know what it's going to be like. Let me get myself ready first. He'd be like, Kurt, do you win?
Yeah.
Do you win? Sound like you're asking, do I want to get out? Because that's the only do you I want to hear now.